Coming up on AEA Amplified, EDMO Distributors celebrates its 50th year in business.
From the Aircraft Electronics Association, this is AEA Amplified, a podcast for aviation's technology experts, with your host, Jeff Hill.
Hello and welcome to AEA Amplified, sponsored by Genesis Aerosystems, a Moog company, and a leading provider of integrated avionics systems for military and civil operators around the world. From rugged integrated flight displays to digital flight control systems for rotor and fixed-wing aircraft, Genesis has solutions to increase safety and decrease pilot workload. To learn more about how Genesis can help your customers, visit genesis-aerosystems.com. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Jeff Hill, for this April 15th, 2021 edition of AEA Amplified. And our guest today is Mr. Mike Schmidt, and he's the president of EDMO Distributors, an AEA member company since 1977 with world headquarters in Spokane Valley, Washington. So thank you for joining us. And Mike, I know your company is celebrating its golden anniversary this year, the Big 50. Tell us about the company's 50-year history going back to its founding in 1971.
Well, how much time do we have, Jeff? There's a lot of stories to be told over 50 years for sure. I think that when we look at EDMO and its reach into the aviation industry, we feel really fortunate. We've had a ton of fantastic vendor partners, and it really is all supported by our team. In Spokane, obviously we started back in California. Moved up here to Spokane in the early 90s. But our success really over these 50 years is dependent upon the team that we have here. We consistently receive unsolicited feedback from our customers and our vendors about the support that our team provides. And, if you look back over the 50 years, that's the, quote unquote secret sauce, I guess, is our team. They've really been able to provide exceptional service into the industry.
And so EDMO, the name of the company itself, I know that's kind of a combined name of your founders, which is Ed Landsberg and Morris Brown. And I know they identified the need for an avionics distributor in Southern California 50 years ago. But what do you know and remember about Ed and Morris?
Well, it's been fun this week, actually. Ed's been up in Spokane visiting us. He still lives in California, but he's been up visiting us. And it all started back with Ed and Morris as King distributors. And Ed had the King distribution down in Southern California, and Morris had it in Northern California. And they put themselves together, and as they were selling the avionics stuff, they realized that, wow, there's some opportunities for antennas and installation supplies and things like that. And so that's really how it started growing. There's a great story about Ed having lunch with the folks that were running Comant back then. And Ed said, well, I'll take 500 antennas or some crazy number of antennas. And they looked at him like, wow, okay. And then that's how we started with Comant. And it just built upon itself over the years. And for the last 20, 25 years, we've had a very, very robust group of vendor partners that have helped us.
Yeah, you mentioned Comant as one of your first partners. IFR Systems, which Aeroflex, later part of the Viavi Solutions. So
yeah.
How important was IFR Systems and Comant there into getting the company up and off the ground?
Well, both of those companies were extremely important back then, and quite frankly, they're both extremely important today. They're two of our longest running vendors partners. And, it's always been, it has been interesting for us as we've gone through the years. You mentioned IFR, and then they were Aeroflex, and now they're Viavi Systems. And it's always been interesting for us to watch the iterations of these companies, while EDMO kind of remained the one kind of consistent thing in the world as it related to the distribution of their products. But yeah, both of those companies, the faith that they put in us, and the ability that we've had to use those products as a springboard into other products is incredibly important.
And so 50 years later, now your company stocks over 26,000 ready to ship parts from over 300 manufacturers. So how in the world do you keep it all straight?
I can't tell you. That's the secret. And if I told you, then there would be ramifications for you, Jeff, and I don't think you want those. No, you know, we're an AS 9100 company. We're certified by ISO, and so we have a very, very robust quality management system. And one of the things that our team in the warehouse does a just unbelievably fantastic job of is keeping track of all of that stuff, getting the orders loaded properly. We ship, anywhere between, I don't know, 250, 300 boxes a day, and our error rate is less than 1/10 of 1%. And that's just a unbelievable statistic when you think about the volume that our team is working with back there.
And I know that's a huge benefit for AEA member repair stations and shops in the United States. Of course, most of them being AEA members, and that comprises the majority of your customers. And now you supply customers in more than 180 countries. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, we are definitely a global company. As you guys know, you have members all over the world, and our business certainly follows the roster of your membership. I would say that is really the bulk of our business is supporting the AEA membership. It's why the membership is so important to us. The convention is so important. We're really looking forward to being in Dallas this year. We missed everybody last year, and so we're very much looking forward to that. But yeah, we're a global company for sure.
And once again, we are visiting with Mike Schmidt, the president of EDMO Distributors based in Spokane Valley, Washington, here on AEA Amplified, sponsored by Genesis Aerosystems, a Moog company. And Mike, your company moved from Southern California to Spokane in 1993. Why did the company relocate to the Pacific Northwest?
It was really about the company saw that there were significant business advantages to moving out of the state of California. And they traveled all up and down the West Coast, and Tim Gump, who was, is still part of the ownership group. He's on the board of directors now. Came up to Spokane, and they fell in love with the area. And we really felt like it was going to be an opportunity to grow the company in a place where the employees and all of our team members could have a really good life. Spokane is a beautiful place. Some of the Californians had a little bit of adjustment to do when the snow started flying that first year, but it's just really about the lifestyle up here. We really enjoy the seasons, and it's a great place to raise kids, and obviously there were some business advantages to doing it as well.
Yeah, and you also opened a 21,000 square foot warehouse in Nashville back in 2017. I'm sure to better serve your customers in the eastern part of the United States. What was the reason for that expansion, and how did that come about?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jeff. The reason that we did that is, we're living in an Amazon world these days, and everybody wants something a couple of days ground, and we just weren't able to provide that kind of support to our customers on the East Coast. And one of the things that we really take pride in is that we really listen to our customers. We take their feedback very seriously. And that's what we heard over and over is, gosh, it would sure be great if I could get this stuff a little bit quicker. And so we knew we had to do something on the East Coast. And the impetus behind picking Nashville, it was really about the 2-day ground halo. How many of our customers can we reach in 2 days ground? So that's why we picked Nashville. Plus, it's a fun place to go.
Yeah, definitely. Nashville is a great place to visit. I think one of the more underrated cities in the United States. And your company's motto is unique, quality and excellence, whatever it takes. That's the EDMO way. Why is that motto so important to your company and the culture that you have established?
When you look at how we interact with our customers, all of our team members have pretty much carte blanche approval to do whatever it takes. That's just not some kind of word or series of words that we put up on a wall and have on a fancy poster. Our team really, really lives by that. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that our customers are taken care of. we live by a set of core values, and the very first one of those is dazzle the customer. And we feel like we do a pretty good job of that. And at the end of the list of our core values is enjoy the ride. And I think, harkening back to your question about why Spokane, why Nashville, and why do we do some of the things that we do is we want to be able to have fun doing what we're doing. And I think that attitude, or that culture that we've created here at EDMO, is what really helps us with retention. We've got people, all of your members know Ted Augustine, all of your members know Nick Fisher. And, those guys have been with us 25, 30 years. And, they're a wealth of knowledge that provide fantastic customer service. And I think it's really about the culture that we've created here.
Yeah, and the way you're communicating that, getting your employees to be known within the AA membership is really unique. In fact, the advertisements in Avionics News Magazine actually highlights one or two employees at a time and tells you their names and what they do and where they work, so that the AA member on the other end of the line, when they communicate with you, knows exactly who they're talking to. That's a very creative marketing concept. So congratulations to you and your team on that.
Thanks. I got a fantastic marketing team here, led by Camille Martin, and she that was her idea, and she's executed that campaign flawlessly. It's really fun because every month when the AEA magazine comes out, whoever's been highlighted, their emails blow up. Oh man, I saw you on the back. It was so great to see you. It's great to put a face with the name and all that. So yeah, it's a really fun campaign. Yeah. Our 50 years of success, like I've said before, is really about our team, and we wanted to make sure that they got highlighted this year in that celebration.
Yeah, that's a great segue, because if you're really marketing, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're more business to business in that arena. So you want to offer those communications to the shops, your AA member dealer network, not necessarily maybe to the end customer. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are strictly a B2C company. We really rely on our vendor partners they're the ones that do the B2C marketing. In my opinion, and maybe I'm giving up a little bit of a secret here, but that's okay. We really feel like it's our job as a partner to our vendors that when they do their marketing to an end user, to the aircraft owner, so that aircraft owner walks into an AEA shop and says, I want part X. And then that AEA shop said, you know what, I know about part X because the EDMO guy was just here and told me about it. I know right where I can get it. And then that really creates that, to use the old businessy word, synergistic. It really creates this synergistic partnership with our vendors. And I think that's what's led to a lot of our success.
Well, and those relationships and those partnerships have certainly paid off with those dealers, because you were named the 2020 AEA Associate Member of the Year. Now, unfortunately, the award was scheduled to be presented a year ago in Nashville at the AEA convention. And of course, if particularly the AEA members will remember, the AEA convention was actually one of the very first industry shows that was canceled because of the pandemic. So we lost Nashville, but the good news is you will be on stage later this year in June in Dallas to receive that award. So what does being named the AEA Associate Member of the Year mean to you and your company?
It's really an affirmation of the efforts that we put in to serve the members. The fact that they recognize what we're doing and are willing to write our names down on a ballot really tells us that what we're doing is making a difference out there. We feel like our job is to make the AEA members, or any of our customers, really make their job easy. That's job number one. We want to be the avionics easy button, and to be recognized by the membership really tells us that what we're doing is working, and we're moving in the right direction.
So Mike, 50 years behind you now in the rearview mirror, but what do you maybe see as the company's biggest challenge facing you over the next 50 years? And then maybe what do you see as some of the biggest challenges that's facing aviation in general?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. And I think everybody right now is trying to look in their crystal ball and see what does this new world look like. Last year was an incredibly challenging year for everybody in the industry, and I think that what we get because of our broad product lines is we get a really broad view of the aviation industry, and we can see that there are certain parts of the industry that suffered pretty bad last year, but there's other parts of the industry that really are doing okay. GA is growing. We see that in the shops that we're dealing with. They're still all full of airplanes. People are utilizing airplanes more than they used in the past because they don't want to go and mess around with commercial travel and things like that. So, as we look to the future, I think our challenges are really, I think, keeping up with what is it that our customers need from their distribution company. Those needs change constantly, and they changed a ton last year. And so it's about technology. It's about being interconnected with them, and really staying tight with those customers to understand how can we be that easy button? How can we make your life easier? And listening to them, and then trying to implement those things.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything that we missed, or items that you'd like to cover or share with the avionics community before we go?
No, Jeff, I just really appreciate the time that you guys allowed me to come and talk about our great company. We're really proud of what we do here, and we're very, very grateful for the partnerships that we have with fantastic vendors, the great customers that we get to serve on a daily basis, and we can't wait to see everybody in Dallas. We're really, really looking forward to that. And from me, I just, I don't know how many of my employees will end up listening to this podcast, but if they're listening, I just want them to hear from me a very, very, very big thank you. 50 years of success does not come easily, and they absolutely are the foundation for that success. So I appreciate and love every one of them, and look forward to another 50 years of success.
Oh, that sounds great. And congratulations again on your golden anniversary. That's EDMO President Mike Schmidt here on AEA Amplified. To learn more about EDMO distributors, you can visit them online at edmo.com. And you can also read more about EDMO in the upcoming May edition of Avionics News Magazine. There will be a feature story in there, so check that out. It will be released on May the 1st. And you could subscribe to the print copy for free, or read the magazine at avionicsnews.net, or download the apps available for both iOS and Android devices. And before we go, let me remind our listeners of some important items. We did mention there the AEA convention, the 64th annual version of it, has been moved to June 22nd through the 25th at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. If you'd like to attend and have not registered yet, you can take advantage of the early bird registration through April the 30th. Again, that has been extended until April the 30th, so that will save you $180 per attendee through the early bird, and you can learn more at aea.net/convention. In addition, the AEA unveiled dates for 2 AEA Connect conferences in the United States later this year. You can join us on September 29th and 30th in the East, and that will take place in Orlando, Florida. And in the West Connect Conference will take place in Reno, Nevada, October 27th and 28th. Registration is open, along with hotel information for each of those 2-day conferences at aea.net/connect. Also, the annual Avionics News Technical Training Exam is available for avionics technicians. Score 85% or higher to receive credit toward your repair station training program requirements. And if you are up to the test, visit avionicsnews.net. And finally, if you are interested in pursuing professional opportunities in the avionics industry, the job listings page on the AEA website is your one-stop resource. Search the AEA's job listings and see what's on your horizon. Free resume posting is available. That's at aea.net/jobs. And that's going to wrap it up for today. And we hope you can join us for our next podcast in late April, when we will chat with EAA Chairman and CEO Jack Pelton here on AEA Amplified to talk about the upcoming AirVenture, which will take place in late July. And again, AEA Amplified is sponsored by Genesis Aerosystems, a mode company. To learn more about Genesis and its full range of products, visit genesis-aerosystems.com. Until next time on AEA Amplified, so long everybody, and be safe.